Okay, today we'll read part 4 of Diary of Wimpy Kid. Let's get started. October. Monday? Monday. Well, it's finally October. There's 30 days left until Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday, even though Mom says I'm getting too old to go trick-or-treating anymore. That's Halloween is Dad's favorite holiday too, but for a different reason. On Halloween night, while all the parents are handing out candy, Dad is hiding in the bushes with a big trash can full of water. And if any teenagers pass by our driveway, he drenches them. Yarg! I'm not I'm not sure Dad understands the concept of Halloween, but I'm not gonna be the one who spoils his fun. Trick or treat. Tonight is the opening night of Crossland High School Haunted House, and I got Mom to agree to take Rowley. Rowley showed up at my door wearing his Halloween costume from last year, and when I called him earlier, I told him to wear regular clothes, but of course he didn't. I tried not to let it bother me too much though. I never been allowed to go to Crossland and Haunted House before, but I was not gonna let Rowley ruin it for me. Roderick has told me all about it, and I've been looking forward for about 3 years. Anyways, when we got to the entrance, I started having a second thoughts about going in. Good evening. Mom seemed like she was just in a hurry and get this over with, and she moved us along. Once we were at the gate, it was another scare after another. There were vampires jumping out on you and people without heads and all sorts of crazy stuff. But the worst part of the area was called Chainsaw Alley. There was this big guy in a hockey mask. He had a hockey mask and he had a real chainsaw. Roderick told me the chainsaw was a rubber blade, so I was not going to take any chances. Urgh. Right when it looked like the chainsaw guy was going to catch us, Mom stepped in and blayed us out. That's not nice. I'm sorry, ma'am. Mom made the chainsaw guy show us where the exit was, and that was the end of our haunted house experience right there. I guess it was a little embarrassing when Mom did that, but I'm willing to let it go this one time. Saturday. The Crossland Haunted House really got me thinking. Those guys were charging $5 for a pop, and the line stretched halfway around the school. I decided to make my haunted house on my own. Actually, I had to bring Rowley on the deal. His mom would let me convert our first floor into a full haunted mansion. I knew that Rowley's dad wouldn't be crazy about the idea either. So we decided to build a haunted house in his basement and not and just not mention it to his parents. Me and Rowley spent most of the day coming with awesome plans for our haunted house. Here was our final plan. Hall of Screams, Lake of Blood, Endless Pit, Rat Tunnel, Maze of 1,000 Skulls, Night Valley, Hand Hall, Acid Lake, Exit. I don't mean to brag or anything, but what we came up was way better than Crossland High School Haunted House. We realized we're gonna need a word to get the word out. So we're doing this thing. So we got some papers and made a bunch of flyers. I'll admit, maybe we stretched the truth a little in our advertisement, but we had to make sure that people actually showed up. Haunted house with live sharks. Ouch. 32 Surrey Street. Admission 50 cents. 3 p.m. By the time we were finished putting our flyers around the neighborhood and get back to Rowley's basement, it was already 2:30, and I haven't even started putting the actual haunted house together yet. We cut some corners from our original plan. When three rolled around, we looked outside to see if anyone showed up, and sure enough, there were about there were about 20 neighborhood kids waiting in line outside in Rowley's basement. Now I know the flyer said admission was 50 cents, but I could see the chance to make a killing here. So I told the kids that admission was $2 and the 50 cents was a typo. The the first kid coughed up his $2. The first kid who coughed up his $2 was Shane Snella. He paid he paid he paid his money and we let him inside. Me and Rowley took positions in the Hall of Screams. The Hall of Screams was basically a bed with me and Rowley in either side of it. Rah! Rah! I guess maybe we made the Hall of Screams a little too scary because halfway through, Shane curled up in a ball in the bed. We tried to get him crawl out of there, but he wouldn't budge. Starting to think that all the money were not that I was starting to think that all the money we were losing with Kid was this kid clogging up the Hall of Screams. So I knew that we had to get him out of there quick. Eventually, Rowley's dad came downstairs, and at first I was happy to see him because I thought he could drag Shayna under the bed and get our haunted house cranking again. But Rowley's dad wasn't really a helpful mood. Book. Rowley's dad wanted to know that what we were doing and why Shane Snella was curled up in the bed. We told him that the basement was a haunted house and Shane Snella actually paid for us to do this to him. But Rowley's dad didn't believe us. I admit, if you look around, it didn't really look like a haunted house. All the time we had was the Hall of Screams and the Lake of Blood, which Rowley's dad old baby pool have with half bottle of ketchup in it. I tried to show Rowley's dad our original plan to prove that we were running a legitimate operation, but he didn't seem convinced. To make a long story short, that was the end of our haunted house. The good news is that Rowley's dad didn't believe us, and he didn't have to refund Shane's money, so at least we cleared $2 today. Sunday. Rowley ended up getting grounded for that whole haunted house mess yesterday. He's not allowed to watch TV for a week, and he's not allowed to have me over the house during that time. That last part isn't really fair, because that's punishing me, and I didn't even do anything wrong. And now where am I supposed to play my video games? Anyways, I felt kind of bad for Rowley, so tonight I tried to make it up to him today. So I turned on one of Rowley's favorite TV shows, and I did play-by-play over the phone so he could have the experience it that way. Wow, look at that size of the flamethrower. Oh yeah, never mind. I did my best to keep up what was going on the screen. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure if Rowley was getting to full effect. I bet this part is going to be funny. Whoop! Ha ha ha! I was right. It was funny. Tuesday. Well, Rowley's grounding is finally over, and just in time for Halloween too. I went up to his house to check his costume, and I had to admit I'm a little jealous. Rowley's mom got him his night costume, and it was way cooler than his costume from last year. His night outfit came with a helmet and a shield and a real sword and everything. I never had a store-bought costume before, but I haven't figured out what I'm going to go as tomorrow night. So I probably just throw him something together at last minute. I figured I'll bring back the toilet paper mummy again, but I think it's supposed to rain tonight, so that might not be the smartest choice. In the past few years, the grown-ups in my neighborhood have been cranky about my lame costumes. I'm starting to think it's actually having an effect of the amount of candy I'm bringing in. What are you supposed to be? A cowboy. Double baseball hats. But I don't really have time to put together a good costume because I'm in charge of planning the best route for me and Riley to take tomorrow. This year, I've come up with a plan that'll get us at least twice the candy we scored last year. Halloween. At about an hour before we're supposed to go start trick or treating, I still don't have a costume. At that point, I was seriously thinking about going as a cowboy for the second year in a row. But Mom knocked on my door and handed me a pirate costume with an eye patch and a hook and everything. Riley showed up around 6:30 wearing his night costume, but it didn't look anything like it looked last year. Riley's mom made a safety importance to it, so you can't even tell what he's supposed to be anymore. She cut out a big hole in the front of the helmet so he could see better, and covered up on all the reflection tape. She made him wear a winter coat underneath everything, and it replaced his sword with a glow stick. I grabbed my pillowcase, and me and Riley started heading out, but Mom stopped us before we could get out the door. I want you to take Manny. I want you to take Manny with you. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for reading with me.